Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Wednesday, March 8th, 2017. If you want to follow us on Twitter, please go to CATEX TV. A war on the Korean Peninsula, regardless of who starts it, could cost as much as $350 billion. This is about half of a percentage point of total world gross domestic product, not to mention the number of lives that would be lost. Earlier today, China called on North Korea to suspend its nuclear and missile activities in exchange for the United States and South Korea halting its annually scheduled military war games. This would be to avoid what the Chinese foreign minister called a head-on collision. Foreign Minister Wang Yi said that the two sides are like two accelerating trains coming toward each other with neither side willing to give way. He said the question is, are the two sides really ready for a head-on collision? Our priority now is to flash the red light and apply the brakes on both trains. A cascade of recent events has led to a dramatic increase in tensions. Pyongyang splashed down at least 4 missiles across the ocean toward Japan on Monday. It's prompted a discussion in the Japanese parliament, the Diet, about the Japanese government approving a first strike option against North Korea. Meanwhile, in the United States, President Trump will be the one who's going to have to deal with this if in case this situation expands out of control. Here's an interesting story. Chinese telecom equipment maker ZTE has agreed to plead guilty and pay nearly $900 million in a U.S. sanctions case. The fine was larger than expected. ZTE is also a major smartphone maker. They had been the subject of a 5-year investigation that the company conspired to evade U.S. embargoes on Iran by buying U.S. components, incorporating them into ZE equipment, and illegally shipping them into the country. A large part of ZTE's supply chain, a Chinese manufacturer of smartphones, comes from products made in the United States. The ongoing investigation had caused a snafu in their supply chain and left them unable to produce product coming from the United States. That's a little bit of a reversal of roles, isn't it? The Chinese foreign minister, again, Mr. Wang Yi, said that the government of China consistently opposes foreign governments putting unilateral sanctions on our Chinese companies, but at the same time, we have always asked our companies to operate legally abroad. In this case, ZTE decided to comply. The U.S. construction equipment giant Caterpillar had 3 of its central Illinois facilities raided last week by federal law enforcement officials. Caterpillar is headquartered in Peoria, Illinois. The New York Times is saying that a report has been written, commissioned by the U.S. government, that accuses Caterpillar of tax and accounting fraud. Apparently, the report is focused on a part of the company's offshore tax arrangement and found Caterpillar did not pay U.S. taxes on billions of dollars, primarily from a unit based in Switzerland. No charges have yet been filed, and it's unclear whether or not investigators will act on the findings. Agents from the IRS, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, and the U.S. Department of Commerce participated in the raids in Illinois last week. More than 200 weather records have been broken in Australia during this past summer. Australia's summer is going to end on March 21st. The Climate Council of Australia, in a report titled Angry Summer, said that the season was defined by intense heat waves and bushfires in eastern Australia, with heavy rain and flooding in the western part of the country. Sydney, Brisbane, and Canberra experienced their hottest summers on record. Climate scientists associated with the report said we're experiencing unprecedented extreme heat and setting new records at an alarming rate. 4 people were killed and dozens more injured yesterday afternoon when a freight train smashed into a charter bus filled with senior citizens on a railroad crossing in Biloxi, Mississippi. The bus carried 48 people. 4 of them were killed. Bodies apparently were being hurled out of the windows of the bus, according to witnesses. The bus was traveling from Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, to the Boomtown Casino in Biloxi. In the United States, there were 2,025 collisions at railroad crossings between vehicles and trains in 2016. Some 265 deaths were reported. South African police this morning launched an investigation into an armed robbery at the main international airport in Johannesburg. Officials say that the heist took place Tuesday evening at the Tambo International Airport. It's unknown yet if anything was taken, but apparently some police officials are indicating that an undisclosed amount of money was taken. Also, there are reports that the perpetrators were dressed in police uniforms and police vehicles or vehicles with police markings were used. A business group that's in charge of mitigating risk for theft against banking institutions, called the South African Banking Risk Information Center, said that it's evident that the heist was executed using accurate information. And if police vehicles were used, corrupt police may be involved. This greatly exacerbates the possibility of theft. So Johannesburg Central Airport is no stranger to large-scale heists. In 2006, an estimated $7.7 million was stolen from an international aircraft at the same airport. In 2014, armed criminals took over a vehicle transporting millions of dollars in cash, U.S. dollars, euros, and pounds at the same airport. Obviously, if the theft did occur, it was insured. We'll keep our eye on this. That's all we have today. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.